Guardians talk today is going to be quick. We'll get to some more Guardians after we get our guests on, but the NFL season is here, guys. FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer right now. New customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. Both only got about 6 minutes before Mary Kay joins us, but this is a crucial series starting tonight for the Guardians against the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Guardians may have to win every game the rest of the season to make the playoffs. 3 games may not sound like a lot, but it is at this time of year. It really is. Especially when all the other teams in the mix are playing at least decently. Some of them are playing great. The Mariners have won 9 in a row. The Astros are, playing okay, although they just lost another player yesterday. Yordan Alvarez got hurt in their game last night, but they beat Texas. Texas had won, I want to say 7 in a row before they lost their last 2. Detroit's playing fine. I mean, the odds of them catching the Tigers, they would have to go 13-0 to win the division. They'll probably have to go 13-0, maybe 12-1 possibly. Because think about it, if you go 13-0. The Tigers, that would mean the Guardians finish with 91 wins, right? The Tigers would lose 6 to the Guardians, so that's 85 and 71. They'd still have 6 games.
They're not catching them.
If they go 13-0, the Tigers would still have to lose, in addition to the Guardians games, at least 2 more games because the Tigers have the tiebreaker. So, And by the way, the odds of the Guardians winning all 6 against the Tigers are minuscule. First of all, they're going to have to face Skubal twice in the 6 games. Yep. The Tigers have the pitching edge in all 3 of the games in this series. And the Guardians have 9 of their 13 games are against Detroit and Texas. So we'll hope for a miracle in the division. You never know. It's still a long shot that they make the playoffs, period. But if they're going to do it, they got to sweep Detroit. And then they've got to sweep Minnesota. You've got to win, I think. So the Guardians have won, 9 of 10, I think? So
9 of 10, yes.
And they got to win a minimum of 10 of their final 13, I think, to make the playoffs. And they can go 10-3 the rest of the season, finish 19 of 23, and still miss the playoffs. So you're going to have to, you can't afford almost any losses. You're only 2 back in the loss column of Houston, and Houston is playing Texas the next 2 days. The Guardians have 2 more games than a lot of the other teams, because they have a doubleheader against Minnesota. But there's no margin for error anymore. That's it. You're going to have to win a minimum, I'd say, of 87 games to make the playoffs, and it might take 89, 90.
If they did make the playoffs,
yes.
I mean, do you believe that they could be really competitive?
Anything goes in the playoffs.
I know that moniker, but I'm just saying that the offense.
You never know, but I mean, to make the playoffs, they're going to have to win like 20 of their last 24 games. So it's hard to say a team wouldn't have a chance after they won 20 of their last 24 games.
Yeah.
They do have a pitching staff that is very formidable. Ultimately, they probably would not win in the playoffs because their lineup, eventually their bad lineup would catch up with them. But I can't totally write it off. I can't totally write off a team that's got good pitching and in theory won 20 of their last 24 games. I couldn't completely write them off. I don't think there's a team in the American League right now that I love. Seattle's played great lately. They've won 9 in a row, but before that they played poorly for a month. On paper the Mariners are significantly better than the Guardians. They have just as good a bullpen. They have a better starting rotation, and they have a way better lineup. So, the Yankees are better than all these other teams are better than them on paper. But remember a couple of years ago, it was 2 years ago, both the Diamondbacks and the Rangers that year got the last wild card spot. They got hot at the end, and the 2 of them got to the World Series. Diamondbacks might be doing the same thing now. They're only a game and a half back of the Mets for that final wild card spot with no pitching.
Is there a chance, and I know this is pie in the sky.
Mets got pitchers.
Jason, the other day, Jason was talking about, how they're great at developing these pitchers, and the hitting is just I don't know if they even put an emphasis on it. Is there any chance that there could be an overhaul where they bring somebody and just say, hey, our approach needs to be overhauled on that side of the ball.
Well, I mean, they should do that. They probably won't do that.
They're gonna hire
They
from
owe it
within.
to the fans and they owe it to Jose Ramirez to commit some serious money, and that's when it comes to ownership, to improving the offense. Because they have not been able to develop hitters, right? But you have to significantly upgrade this offense this year. Because if you want any hope, right now the fans are so down. Listen, if the team makes a run and gets to the playoffs, it'll change things. But if the likely situation happens and they don't make the playoffs and they finish with 82, 83 wins, middling team, fans are really down on the team. Nobody's going to be excited about next year unless this team makes a serious commitment to improve the lineup in the offseason. They've not done that for years. I have no strong reason to believe that they will. I'm hoping against hope that they will finally take it seriously.
Where you stand on the firing of the front office? I know you was very passionate about that like a couple months.
I think it's time for a change in the organization, but it's not going to I would change, even though I highly respect both guys in charge and think they're very good. I loved Andy. I love Andy Reid, but it was time for him to leave Philadelphia. Sometimes you need a change.
Mm-hmm.
It might if the Steelers fall on their face. Mike Tomlin's a great coach, we know that, but it might be time for a new voice in Pittsburgh. I think sometimes even if you're really good, eventually you wear out your welcome, and I feel like we might be at that point here. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, and it wouldn't surprise me if they got the Guardians back on track in the next few years, but there's just no way they can significantly turn around this lineup without a financial commitment because there's just not enough good players, and you can't sell the fans every year on these same guys who can't hit. You can't keep doing that.
For me, it's this is the thing about analytics that gets me, right? They preach that we're going to look at data, we're going to look at data points, we're going to look at all these things to find out how we can get better in the margins and some of the minutia. But my thing about the analytics is if you know you can't hit, right, and you don't have the budget to go out and you don't want to spend money on people that are already existing good players that you could plug and play, why is it that there's this thing where they won't even take the money and put it into research and development?
Maybe they have. I don't know. If they have, it hasn't worked.
We always talk about it. Hey, our kickers are terrible.
Yeah.
Do they have a kicking coach or a kicking program? Nah, they just got Bubba Ventura. You're like, but why?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
It don't count against the cap.
They're either not using the resources at all, or they're just not using them well.
And they think Jose left how much money sitting on the
$140 million.
No, you can't say an exact
reportedly.
number. No,
allegedly.
What could be reportedly? This idea, Jay said the other day, no offense to Jay, he said the Blue Jays were going to offer him this. He wasn't a free agent. The Blue Jays weren't even talking to him. I don't know what anybody's talking about.
Market value?
He probably could have gotten $100 million or so more.
All right,
this arbitrary Blue Jay situation is nonsense.
We'll continue